C.S. Lewis, in his book called Is Theism Important? Theism is God, divinity. The other one is deism, is a caretaker God who doesn't care about us, live outside our universe, etc. But theism, which from God to the Dog, gives us a really good understanding. The how to get to know the theism God is really good for share with your non-Christian friends and unbeliever friends are apologetics. So in this essay, that Lewis says there are two types of faith. One is intellectual faith. One is the religious faith. Okay, religious faith, which is like trust in God, which experiences supernatural. It's really so to understand theism in uh, to understand the divine, to understand who God is, atheism, you really need to experience the what is the people call the religious experience. Religious experience is what is called in theological or philosophical terms is in the experience of the numinous. Numinous is something you cannot necessarily see and understand. It's something transcend our everyday life. It's something outside of us. Okay, like for example, that's why Kant say numinous experience is something that beyond us. He's basically he's trying to kill off this supernatural. But if you look at something, for example, you call something supernatural. A crippled man start to walk. That's a supernatural. That's numinous. A blind pray for and they open their eyes and see Jesus. I guess, for instance, in our age, such experience does occur, but until religion comes and retrospectively transform it, it usually appears to be the subject of a special form of aesthetic experience. In other words, if you don't have the religious faith in God, when you actually see a miracle, albeit a small miracle, it's just something supernatural, something outstanding, you call it, oh, what a beautiful experience. Beautiful. It's just like spectacular. And you're thankful, but you never thank God because you didn't realize it was really, really, really the numinous, the supernatural. It is theism, is God. So when people don't have the religious experience, don't have faith in God, in Christ, for example, in Christ, anything extraordinary is just called beautiful. Because you notice that in our culture today, that people write out the supernatural, and it is so hard to get them to acknowledge even that. So they just, they just say, oh yeah, it is a coincidence. Oh yeah, that all kinds of reasons to explain that, to cover that. Okay, by that means, so people just spew beautiful special form of what Lewis said aesthetic experience. Aesthetic is just something look good on the outside. By that he means if we don't have religion in our life, what's really the work of the transcendent God would simply be labeled as something beautiful, beautiful without God. You see that? This is how they diminish God. Something divine made by God, we say, oh yeah. You said something you get a good thing. You say, people, we used to say, thank God. Now what do they say? They say, thank goodness. Why? Where's that from? Because they believe in the God of goodness. It's not God himself, but just luck, goodness. You see, the world is slowly grabbing it and cutting the last part off. Okay, so if you don't have religion in your life, it is really hard to understand and connect with the transcendent God because you just called it something beautiful. So Lewis argues that faith does not come from the experience, the philosophical arguments alone. That's right. You cannot just use intellectual mind to argue for these things or numinous experience alone. You cannot just use philosophy. You cannot just use the numinous experience because people can dispute the numinous experience. But you really also need to get it from historical events that transcends a moral category, which demand a presupposition in the existence of God. That's a key, the presupposition of the existence of God. So you need to grab it through the historical events that will show you. Then you got to read the Bible. That's why you got to read the Bible, begin to understand that, wow, what God has done to Israel and all this stuff, the mighty Red Sea Exodus, all this, you begin to connect them, begin to make sense. Wow, I'm not the only guy, the first guy experiencing some kind of supernatural, because it has happened all the way through. Somebody pray for, got healed, you know. Somebody, demons get cast out. Somebody get demon possessed, get set free. All kinds of things. And God provided a good job when it is so hard. And that was a providence of God. People would have called it, oh yeah, that's good luck. Oh, there's something just beautiful. But it is from God. A lot of things. Therefore, without religious faith in God, without the presupposition of God, you can never acknowledge and know and experience God.